What's up? It's Jeremy Picker from Amber Creative.
This is Deanna with In the Zoning and Print Girl Mafia.
This is Ray Weiss with Printing United Alliance.
You're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by Terry Combs RG, Regular Guy, and Aaron Montgomery.
The place to be for industry news.
The best dad jokes on earth, along with relevant topics to apparel decorators.
Fashion to the people.
Show. It is Friday, May 22nd, 2026. I'm Terry Combs. You can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery from Super Gamut and our Success Group. And Terry, this week we're going to do a show that we always love doing. I think we go on spurts sometimes with this, and I think people really enjoy this as well. This is an opportunity to talk about niche markets and it's something we haven't done in a little bit, and I think we're going to have a really good time with this, and we're going to do a little twist on this. We're going to highlight specific niche markets for DTF decorators, but if you're not a DTF decorator, it's okay. There's stuff for you here. We want you to be inspired by this, so we think that there's things that you can do regardless. You're an embroider, sublimator, DTG, DTF, screen printer, wherever you're at, you'll find something in here today, but we specifically targeted the idea for DTF printers. So Terry, going to be a great conversation today.
Yeah, absolutely. Niche markets, conversations about niche markets are good for everyone because the idea is to get those juices going and you thinking about niche markets that might work for you. So make sure you stay till the very end. Today's secret sauce, I'm going to be bringing the sauce today.
Nice.
Pre-treating the real secret sauce of DTG printing. See what I did there?
There we go. I had to get my marker out to take notes. So make sure you guys have your notepads handy and stay till the end for that. That'll be a great secret sauce from Terry. So Terry, we've got the news coming to you from our good friend Cassie Green at the Apparelist, and she is somewhere on the other side of the world. So are we ready to hear the news from Cassie Green?
Yeah, where in the world is Cassie Green?
That's right. Here we go.
Hola, regulators. Cassie Green here from Apparelist, coming to you from Barcelona, España, where I am attending the FESPA show. We are seeing lots of great things out on the trade show floor. Be sure to check out Apparelist for the full trade show report. Make sure you're following along. But until then, I have a couple news headlines to share with you this week. I'm going to keep this super short and sweet. First bit of news, I'm sure all of you saw, but Sanmar has acquired Bella Canvas. This is big news in an industry that continues to see lots of M&A and consolidation activity. Now, if you want the full report on all of the details, please, again, click on the link so you can get that headline. The second headline I want to make sure all of you are paying attention to is that Marshall Atkinson and Ali Banholzer have announced the second iteration of the AI Summit from ShirtLab. This, of course, is building on the first event that they had last year, and I'm sure it's going to be a great event. Again, guys, if you want all the details, make sure you click on the news link. And finally, if you didn't see this news, registration for Printing United Expo is now open. Set to take place September 22nd through 24th in fabulous Las Vegas. It is bound to be the best expo yet. So, guys, happy to bring you the news this week, and thanks for checking in.
All right, how awesome was that?
There we go. From Barcelona, Spain. So thank you very much. Appreciate you checking in from across the pond, so to speak, there, Terry. So,
exactly. And everybody, make sure you get registered for Printing United. So we will all see you all there, hopefully.
Yep, definitely. Well, in fact, we'll probably have a code here at some point. So we're working on all that stuff. I've already got my dance card pretty full for Printing United with the media day. Two regular guys will be hosting that again, specifically me, but Terry and Eric are always welcome. So, gonna be an awesome show. So make sure you guys are getting registered, and we'll see you out there in Las Vegas here in September this year, I believe. Is that sound right?
It's right. Yeah, it's around the corner, huh?
Yep, definitely. Wow, crazy. All right. Well, we have to say good morning to some folks here. We had Doug Sobel checking in right away there at Central Park in New York City. Amazing.
It's
Is it
about
on?
3,000 miles away from where you normally check in there.
Yeah, yeah. So, Doug, are they playing it in Times Square there and on the big screen? Is that where you're catching the two of your guys at? I didn't remember paying for that, but no, good having Doug checking in from the other side of the country. And then our good friend Andy Swanson checking in. We got to see Andy and give him a hug and say hello out there in Chicago
absolutely.
this last weekend. So it was definitely great seeing you, Andy. So if you are tuned in live right now, make sure you're checking in. We want you guys to be part of this conversation with us here today. You know, we've got some ideas about niche markets for DTF, but we want to hear from the regulators too, and appreciate you guys checking in. We've got Alina checking in. Good morning. And Rena Cooper checking in as well. So thank you for being here. And Doug is out there for his daughter's graduation. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah,
That's
congratulations. We'll give your daughter some pom-poms here, Doug. So congrats. That's awesome. Good stuff there. All right. Well, Terry, Cassie said at the start of the show, the best dad jokes on the planet.
Well, you know, speaking of dad jokes, and speaking of the DAC show in Chicago, Jackie Granquist from Circle G Branding in Wisconsin stopped by and said, "Hey, I've got a dad joke for you." So
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's hear the dad joke then.
all right, from Jackie Granquist. Aaron, how was Rome divided up?
Yeah, I really don't know. How was it divided up, Terry?
With Caesars. For our podcast listeners, Caesars and scissors.
That is definitely an Eric head shake there. So, oh boy. Well, thank you. Yes, if you regulators have them, make sure you come see us. You know, I will be out in Tampa. You can come give me your dad joke there, or reach out to us, and we're always looking for dad jokes too. But
Yeah. You know, Aaron, I had 6 people stop by and say hello who had attended my screen printing class in Chicago. So it's always fun to, you know, if you guys see us at trade shows, we'd love to hear how you're doing. And one person said, "I was in your class in Chicago 16 years ago," and she goes, "We're doing gangbusters." So you love to hear it.
yeah, definitely. It was cool too. You were telling me that you have a very unique laugh, and I think people point you like, "Oh, I understand that laugh. I hear that laugh. I'm going to go say hi to that guy."
Yeah, I have had people stop and say, "Hey, are you that guy from the podcast?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. Oh, I recognize your laugh as you were walking by. We were walking by your booth."
And the thing I love about Terry is he's always laughing too. So it's
Well,
good.
you got to enjoy life, right?
That's right. Absolutely. So yeah, it was good to be out there in Chicago. Terry, you were out there manning the booth for the folks at DTF Superstore.
I was very last minute. Hey, Terry, can you come to Chicago and work this booth? And yeah, it was awesome getting to see a lot of people and. Yeah, like I said, a lot of former students, and so and you know, getting back out there in the trade shows, because I wasn't doing very many trade shows for a while. So
Yep.
and man, I love to get out there in front of people and get to talk to folks. So
Yep.
yeah, that was
Absolutely.
it was fun, and more to come.
Yeah, I utilize. I tell some stories about you in my seminars that I do at these shows,
Yeah.
and so it was awesome to be able to say, oh, and you can go see him too. You can talk to him too, and oh, he's in the back of the room, and
Well, I was in the back of the room for one of your seminars where you said I've done a podcast for 14 years with that guy right there, Terry Combs.
normally I just say I do it, and they're like, "Are you sure? Yeah, who's this Terry Combs guy? Nobody's ever."
Right.
No, anyhow,
He could be AI. He's just a voice on the air now.
that's right. That's right. Well, we did determine as we were out having chicken wings and a couple of beers in the lobby that you are the talent. So that was very clear.
And let's just tell the listeners how many wings you bought, Aaron.
It makes me think of our 3 dozen scenario, but no, we got 80 wings. The hotel did not have chicken wings at their restaurant, and so I'm like, Terry's here. There's no chance we're not eating chicken wings. I Uber Eats. I think that's how you say it. I have no idea. I used Uber Eats to get us 80 chicken wings from a place called the Wing Snob. So they were
I
they're
love it.
pretty good. They're pretty good.
We did not eat all of them. We had a table of on and off 10 to 12 people. So
That's right. That's right. But I think we did a pretty good job on our share, for
we
sure.
we ate more than everyone else for sure.
Except for maybe Todd. I think Todd was hanging with us, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the housekeeping and get into this topic here today. Yeah. Got some other people checking in, so we'll get them into the conversation here in a little bit. But go ahead, Terry.
All right. We want to thank everybody for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. We need your voices. We would love to have the regulators participate in our show intros. Go to osg.link/intro. Read a few sentences. Be a part of every show. Do not be left out. We are always looking for new guests. So if you or anyone you know would like to join us, go to calendly.com/2, the number 2, regular guys to book a future episode, or email us at info@tworegularguys.com with your show ideas. If you're listening to the podcast version of the show, we'd appreciate you sharing with the Two Regular Guys podcast with all of your industry friends so they can become regulators too. We would appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, or wherever you do your podcast listening. If you're watching us live right now, please join in with your comments, your thoughts, your questions. And yeah, if you've got a special niche market, share that with us as well.
Absolutely. And maybe you've got a take on one of these niche markets that we're talking about, right? Because the idea here is not do this and then follow. The idea here is, hey, inspired, how's that going to fit into your customer base and stuff like that. So anyhow, I'm getting ahead of the game here, Terry. We ready to dive into this topic?
We are. You know, Aaron, like you said, we've done niche market idea shows over and over and over again. We joke about the time that I did a seminar called 52 Niche Markets in 52 Minutes, and I got to like 18 or 20. But you know, this is for decorators looking for new opportunities. And Aaron, you know, as I kind of alluded to before, when we have these conversations, it's not so much about, okay, take this one idea and you go do it now. It's to kind of get you thinking about, you know, what am I really interested in? What are my hobbies? What are my passions? And I can turn that into business for myself, you know. And there's nothing more pleasurable than you know, you're a car person and doing car shows and selling T-shirts. You know, you're among your people. You're in your element. So, this one's a little different because DTF has lowered the barrier for producing, you know, short run, colorful, customized apparel. You can do one, and this creates opportunities. So, if everybody can stop and say we can print that, the real question becomes, why should they choose you? And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because all of those positive benefits of DTF also, unfortunately, brings in some negative potential, right? There's a lot of noise. Everybody can do it, right? You know, the Facebook groups and everything else are filled with, you know, lots of people trying to make their quick buck on the DTF space, right? So
exactly.
I think the companies that are ultimately successful are the ones that really lean into their niche, right? I try to say it the appropriate way, but we're just gonna call it niche. We're not that fancy, but yeah. So Terry, in fact, every show, every DAX show so far, there's been 3. There's 3 more to come. Heading to Tampa next week, actually, to teach this class again. And the class is called The Myth of Everyone is My Customer, right? And been very interesting to talk to people, right? Because there is that feeling of I can't say no, and while that's fine, like that's not the point. The point is when you say yes, you're basically saying no to something else, right? And so, like you said, if you're a car person and you're standing in the middle of a, you know, baby shower of expo, you're probably not going to have that same level of joy as if you're a car person standing at a car show, right? Like,
Right.
um,
Nor are you going to talk the talk, you know?
yeah, exactly. And it so just makes it that much harder to sell. And so when we think that way, that everybody's our customer, we kind of create a little bit of a problem, right? We we get into this space where we get ourselves in trouble because it makes every job seem like a good job, right? Small orders, weird art, last minute requests, random one-offs, local business, Etsy sellers, teams, schools, family reunions, all of it feels very possible. And I know it creates problems because I hear the people complaining about, oh, the AI slop, the this, the that, right? Like all of these challenges that come because they're trying to be all things to everyone. And so it doesn't mean that every job is going to be profitable or strategically aligned with your business. And so I think when we talk about niche markets, it's even more valuable in today's world to find the right person, Terry.
Well, yeah, when I was in college contemplating starting a screen printing business,
Yeah.
there was a company in Columbus, Ohio that ran radio ads all the time, and their slogan was "We print anything," and I always thought that's a horrible slogan. We're not good at anything, but we do it all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the trick. I think that's the key point, right? The first part, we're not good at anything.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
We're mediocre at best. Call us.
yeah. Ooh, I can't wait to do business with that mediocre decorator. Huh, okay.
Well, and Aaron, like I was saying, with shows like this, it's for you guys to be thinking, how do you stand out? And a good way of framing this is in one of five areas: the customer you serve, the technique you are great at,
Yep.
the technology you use, DTF in this particular instance, the service you wrap around the product, always important, or the way you market yourself. So for DTF shops, the product might be very similar from shop to shop.
Yep.
Everybody's a DTF producer these days.
Yep.
But the niche, the service model, turnaround, artwork help, order processing, the customer experience can make you different. And I have to say, Justin at Oklahoma Shirt Company, the owner of Oklahoma Shirt Company,
Yeah.
sat in one of my screen printing classes, and he raised his hands and started talking about niche markets. And I'm like, Justin, I that is the right word, but we print T-shirts. It just seems uppity,
And knowing Justin, he probably thought that was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. So to your point there, Terry, right? Like, yeah, as you guys are listening to what we're going to share here, be thinking about, right? How do you stand out? How can you do these things and stand out, right? And so even if you are somebody that's in DTF, offering DTF is not the niche, right? It's, as you said, it's a production method. It's part of these things that could separate you, right? As Terry shared before, the specific customers you serve, the techniques that you're really good at, the technology you use inside of that, the services that you provide, and really just the way you market yourself, right? Like that could mean, somebody that's doing more B2B stuff and they're a bit more buttoned up, right? They're not eating chicken wings and drinking beer and having dad jokes going on, right? Like they're a little different, right? Maybe they're, I don't know. I'm not going to get myself in trouble and say something I shouldn't, but so that's
who could make a 14-year business out of eating chicken wings and telling dad jokes, man?
exactly. So the point is, right? Like that's what separates you. And so what is that for you specifically? What's the problem you solve for your ideal customer? I think we need to, as business owners, separate those two things. a
Yeah.
customer versus your ideal customer. I was talking to one of my friends that's actually a local handyman that I've been kind of his business coach for a little bit. And we were talking about the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of your customers are going to generate 80% of your income, but yet we find ourselves spending most of our time with that bottom 20% of your customers that are causing you the most headaches, right? Causing you 80% of those headaches. And so who is your ideal customer? So maybe for you, right, you're helping gyms launch merch drops, or maybe you're helping trade businesses outfit their crews, right? Like you work with landscapers and construction companies and things like that. Or maybe you do a lot of stuff in the school spirit wear fundraising world, or just you know, I actually have a picture of Brett Bowden in my class talking about that, right? Where he just wanted to help small bands that couldn't afford the big merch like the big companies. And so created that and became the best in his space and has a very successful business out of that, right? So I think if you guys are good in understanding that, right, and Evelyn says that is so true, we need to focus on the ideal customer. I think we can dive in, Terry. So do you want to just kind of bat these back and forth and talk about
Yeah,
it?
yeah, let's do that. But let me add one more thing. When you were talking about all the different things you can do to stand out, the fact you're printing DTF is a small thing over here in the corner. Your customer doesn't care if you print DTF. You just have to take the advantages of DTF and wrap it around that customer. So
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Really good point, Terry. Yep. All right. Well, do you want to start with number one here then?
Yeah, the first one that we came up with was micro brand launch kits. So it's for creators and hey, this is a new niche market, really. Local influencers, small apparel brands, podcast hosts, YouTubers, and I know people, Aaron, who their entire focus is for influencers. They do all the merch for influencers, and that's their whole niche in the marketplace. But it's for community personalities who want to test merch without sitting on boxes of inventory, or maybe you're going to fulfill it for them. They just want to promote it. You're gonna take care of the back end for them, and but it's for a starter kit, maybe 12 to 24 pieces, a few different designs, a range of sizes, maybe a sample reorder plan. But DTF is the perfect technology because it lets you test lots of different things, multiple full color designs that, you talk about Brett Bowden. What do rock bands want? They want a black T-shirt and they want a picture of the band, and they play every other Friday night at some local club. They can't afford a lot of merch. I mean, my son Mike was in a band in high school. He was in college. The one in college, by the way, was called 6-year sophomore, which disturbed me a little bit.
You're like, wait a second, I'm paying for that.
and he was always, they sold a lot of merch at shows, but it's we've got extra larges that are sitting here, and we're out of smalls and mediums, so I've got to order everything, and so the DTF is perfect for that. And you know what? Go to every venue in town that has live music and talk to the person that hires the bands and give them a cut for hooking you up with these bands to do merch. And guess what? The guy booking bands at the local tavern is more than happy to take a 10% cut of everything you sell to every band that he talks to. He's going to be calling bands to say, hey, you guys need T-shirts? So anyway.
Yeah, I love
Thoughts on that, Aaron?
No, I definitely. I think you've nailed it. And like you said, this is actually a newer niche market than we realize, right? Like, because the podcasters, the YouTubers, the stuff like that, right? They don't really want to get involved. They just like they were making money on YouTube and now they aren't, right? And so merch is a way that they can actually get back to making money. Yeah. YouTube stopped paying them as much as before. But they don't want to have to figure it out. They don't want to have to deal with the customers that, they just want to create content.
Right.
And so you can jump in there, and it's not about the shirt. It's not about, like, yeah, you can make a cool shirt and all this other stuff, but the conversation should be about, let me take care of everything on the back end, right? I'm going to build you a store. I'm going to make it, match your look. We're going to fulfill the whole thing. Like, I think one thing that I see too many decorators sleeping on is just the whole fulfillment side of it, because
Yeah.
it's not fun. It's not easy to deal with shipping companies. But if you do it right, it can be very lucrative because, right, you just make sure that you're covering, because you know that the post office is going to lose something and you're going to have to eat something. And so you charge a little bit more, and, they're not necessarily looking to make massive profit margins. They just want to be making money on their brand. And so if you are, sending them a regular check for their part of it, you've got plenty of room, because their followers are also willing to pay a lot more, because, oh, I
Right.
get to have, a Terry Combs t-shirt. Man, that'd be freaking cool. That.
I'm going to get you one of those.
All right. I wish I knew a guy. So, yeah. So Ramona said earlier, I like the starter kit idea. I do too. And then can I go back? I saw Alan come in, but I forgot to say hi to Alan. So Alan, hello. Good. Thanks for tuning in here. Let's see what else we got here. We got Dot Tone Dan checking in. And then Evelyn says, I've been getting more requests for merch than ever, and being able to use DTF for those darker color tees is so needed, right? So there you go. Good. All right.
Yeah, Aaron, and I worked with a company, ran production for a company in Maryland 25 years ago before I moved to Phoenix. And our whole marketplace was fulfillment, and companies would pay a premium for send 100 here, send 12 there. And we would print 5 to 10,000 nail aprons at a time. And then for individual stores, we would, and it was for I can't even remember, an electronics company, I think. And then we would drop in, name drop 100 for this store and 150 for that store, and we had shelves full of people's merchandise, but they would pay a premium to not mess with it. So it's that marketplace is lucrative.
Very lucrative. In fact, I remember Eric telling some stories about how they would do that in the facility that he was a big part of there for a while, and so yeah, I mean, it's not that it's new, but I'm not sure we focus on that aspect of it enough. We focus so much on the shirt, the cool, which is great, but I think we're probably more excited about that than the end user is. What's the problem I can solve for a creator, an influencer, a YouTuber, a podcaster? Probably not the shirt. It's, how do I make money from this content that I'm creating? Right. And merch is a great way to do that, but they don't care about the merch, right? Like, necessarily. So,
Right, exactly.
Not all of them. Some of them are very picky about it, but yeah. Okay.
Talking about Eric's past, you made him nostalgic for New Mexico. So
I'm sorry about that, Eric. My
idea.
bad. He does have our microphone mute buttons at hand, so we have to
picture poof.
Yeah. And Terry is no longer part of the show. All right, so let's get to number 2. We knew that we weren't going to get through all of these. In fact, we kind of planned for that, but we should at least get through more than one. How about that? All right, so I kind of brought this up a little bit earlier, but I think, this idea of local service crews trade, but having kind of a refresh program, right? So again, thinking about, HVAC companies, landscaping companies, plumbing companies, pest control, mobile detailers, right? Cleaning companies, roofing crews, even food trucks, right? Like, we go, okay, great, you got a new customer, let's get them a shirt, right? But you think about every single one of those things that I just listed there, they're going to need more than one shirt over the lifetime of their career there, right? Like, I work at a food truck, I might get a weekend and need a new shirt, right? Or landscapers, things like that. So, what if you were to set up a program that's really not about the shirts, it's about the look, right? How their team shows up when they're in front of their customers, right? And DTF works really well because maybe they need a name drop or a different sleeve print for a promotion they're doing or something like that. Safety colors, right?
Yeah.
Trying to DTG onto safety colors is not easy necessarily, right?
Right.
And but if you do DTF well, it's actually very not easy, but it's much easier to do with DTF than it is like DTG.
Right.
You know, as the seasons turn, somebody that's working outdoors, they might want a t-shirt here, but they're going to need a hoodie, right? We need hats. And so I think it's the idea here is not necessarily just to go work with those folks, but how do you work with those folks in a way that makes it really easy for them to stay focused on the business that they do, and you make it so they can easily reorder, like you keep everything on file, you know all the details, so you start off with a new hire pack, but then also maybe you give them a program where they commit to a certain number of refreshes. And so
Right.
it's kind of like a subscription model almost, Terry. So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
100%. And whenever I bring this up in classes or seminars, you see the light bulbs popping above everybody's heads, like, oh, what a great idea! Because you have the ability every time, and these guys hate to have those boxes of T-shirts in the closet in the office and go through and go, oh, we just hired this guy as a medium. We don't have any more mediums. Now we need to call our screen printer and order more shirts,
Yeah.
But they have nothing. You send the starter pack to their new hire and just give me the size and we'll have it over to you tomorrow. Maybe it's a bar, maybe it's O'Hooley's, a bar I used to sell to years ago in Athens, Ohio. And St. Patrick's Day at O'Hooley's, it's a big deal. And so obviously, I've given you shirts for all the wait staff and the bartenders to wear, every day. But you probably want some special shirts for St. Patrick's Day, right? Well, yeah. And I'm going to guess you want a dozen more to do giveaways all day. Yeah, we do need to do that. And you're just feeding those concepts to folks that how cool is it to walk into an Irish pub and the entire wait staff is wearing some cool 2026 St. Patrick's Day shirt, and this goes on and on and on with different types of event, New Year's Eve, whatever, and but the fact that they don't have to do the work, they don't have to stock the merchandise is key, and they will pay a premium. Pay a little bit more for a t-shirt and sweatshirt for somebody who's doing lawn care. They'll do it because they don't want to pay $500 to buy more t-shirts that half of them are going to still be in the closet, 2 years from now. So it's a great marketplace for DTF because, and Aaron, if I have a lawn care company that's really doing a lot of business with me, I'm going to run 100 transfers, and I'm just going to have them, in a folder. And every time they order, boom, 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 and heck, come in an hour and pick them up. So it is a perfect marketplace for what we do.
Absolutely. Let's get a couple of the regulators' comments here. Ramona says, I have both a landscaper and a detailer I press shirts for. Of course, we trade services. A little bit further down, Doug said, I see ads for contractors for a kit including t-shirts, hats, and polos for usually a ridiculously cheap price. And so I wanted to talk about Doug's comment here really quick because
Sure.
We talked about a little bit earlier this idea of an ideal customer, right? And so this is what's important, right? So that ridiculously cheap price, if that's not you, then that's not the type of contract that you're trying to get, right? Those contractors are also the ones that are then out there trying to be the lowest possible price, and they're complaining about how they can't get anybody to pay for their services, right? And so the idea is make sure that you're going, because like you said, Terry, the companies that they don't want to spend all that money up front. They're willing to pay a little bit more, and they want to look professional, right? Because they're out there asking a premium of their customers. And so not every contractor is going to be your ideal customer, right? And so if your ads are out there running cheap prices, guess what? You're going to get cheap people wanting you to do things for free. And right. So it's finding the right balance and then going out there. Like I actually use a company exactly like this as my ideal customer blueprint that we're talking about. And we're very clear in there that it's not every contractor HVAC company. These are established businesses that have employees that are not concerned about, oh my gosh, I can only pay $7 for a shirt. These are people that, that they're out there looking for bigger jobs. They're more concerned about being the best contractor or HVAC or landscaper as opposed to, I'm just trying to get my business going. Right. So,
Yeah.
and that's
And
a different marketing message.
Right, and it's not the homeowner whose lawn they're taking care of that they're trying to impress. They're also wanting to see everybody driving by in their car, seeing the name of that company doing this fabulous job in lawn care. Of course, lawn care here in Arizona is basically with a blower.
Yeah,
Because,
get the rocks clean.
keep
Clean
the
your
rocks
rocks.
clean. And by the way, it's a 12-month a year deal. Where up north, the lawn care guys in the wintertime are now your snow removal guys. So they need sweatshirts.
Yep. Well, so the neighborhood just across the street from where I live is a newer neighborhood, and I've got some friends that live over there, and they pay a ridiculous amount every month in HOA fees. And I can tell you why, because pretty much the entire spring, all the way through summer until the fall, there is a massive landscaping company out there with a whole bunch of guys. They all have beautiful shirts on.
Yeah.
Their trucks are completely wrapped, and they are basically replacing all of the plants about every month or so, right? Like they're going, and it's immaculate. Like you're driving through this, and it's like, well, I get why they pay that much, but exactly. So that's the type of, company that is not worried about how cheap that shirt is, that they're, how does this look as these people drive by and they see this immaculate street with brand new shrubbery and plants and flowers and stuff. And then they say, oh, look, and I think I should remember it because it does stand out. It's Liberty Landscaping Company. And if I thought about it, I could probably come up with their phone number. I know it's a 636 number. I mean, again, that's how much it stands out. So yeah, that's good.
You're going to say Liberty Travel as quoted in Fountains of Wayne song.
Oh,
So, and on every train in the New Jersey and New York, Liberty Travel. Anyway,
all right.
But
Ramona said, exactly. Keep the prints in stock. It's not like they'll go bad. Sorry.
and where did I find my lawn guy that's been doing my lawn for probably the last 4 or 5 years? In a neighbor's house.
Yeah.
He was doing, I'm thinking, man, their lawn looks awesome all the time. And hey, could I get a card from you? So
there you go.
All right, let's do another one here.
Okay.
Event vendor booth merch. So we're talking farmers markets, we're talking craft fairs, Comic-Con, trade shows, Aaron, that you and I were just at.
Yep.
And in our gear, local festivals. They all have vendors that need apparel, maybe tote bags, maybe even gift bags that where there's you can do a DTF transfer right onto a really cool white bag with a handle and put your product in that and does it cost a little more than a plastic bag that a lot of people use? Well, if you have a logo on a bag that you put a T-shirt in that somebody bought or canned pickles or whatever. I guess they're not canned, or they're in a jar, or whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
but so then you're walking around the farmers market with that bag with that company, with your company on it. So a lot of opportunities there. It's anybody that goes to events like this, when they see somebody in logoed apparel, it makes you feel a little more warm and fuzzy about buying from them. So, good opportunity to just walk around the farmers market. And guess what? If there's a farmers market that's every week in your town through spring or through the fall, go to buy some of the bigger ones that don't have logoed apparel, and next week take them a logoed apparel. Take it in there and say, you guys should be wearing this, and give them that. And how easy is that to do? One run on a DTF printer, and you could do a logo for every vendor there. Put it on a tote bag and hand them out, and with your card and your price sheet. So
There you go. I mean, people are always worried about, filling up their gang sheets, right? There you go. You've got your
Exactly.
normal production, and then you always make sure that you add, 3 or 4 logos from people that you've seen out at an event, right? The thing I ran away for a second, for those of you that are listening to the podcast, you probably didn't realize I was gone, but yeah, I've got these packs of can coolers here, right? And we're gonna. So my friend runs a local sand volleyball club, and he is doing an event, like a fundraising event, and they needed some merch, right? And so I was like, okay. They're like, hey, can we get sand volleyball? There's typically some beers that are drank with that. It's a little bit of a social sport, right? So super easy, right? And I got just. I could probably get them somewhere else, but it was a really quick turnaround, last minute idea. Like, we talked about it yesterday, or no, the day before, and there are tournaments this weekend, right?
Of
So
course.
Wednesday, need 80 can coolers by Friday night, Saturday morning, right? Okay, Amazon. I bought these packs off of Amazon. DTF gang sheet showed up. Boom, ready to go. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wham bam. It's just an idea. An idea to a finished product is not days. It's minutes and hours.
Exactly. So let's see. Evelyn says tees, caps, name tags, bags are all great for vendor booth merch. And then Ramona says your press bag ideas. You can also place a be green to encourage others to use a bag versus plastic. There you go.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea. Great stuff there. All right, Terry.
Press
do we have-
green is somewhere going, what a great idea.
What a great idea.
And
Absolutely.
Teresa Hagel.
That's right. They're like, yes, let's do more of that.
Sustainability.
All right, Terry, I think we've got time for one more.
Okay, let's
All right.
hear it.
So, number 4 here are school clubs and small team spirit packs, right? So instead of trying to go in and get, in with the whole school, that'd be great. But there's a lot of politics that goes on with that. While your kid's going to school there, you got a better shot at it. But when
Yeah.
your kid's not going to school there, it's a little bit more difficult. But if you go and get in with some of these smaller groups, maybe they've got a robotics club or a theater club or debate or marching band, chess club. In my world, right, volleyball, like my son's volleyball team at his high school this year, they sent us this link to this random merch company, and basically most of their logo was black. It's kind of like a big circle with a bunch of black on the inside of it. And so I spent $35 on a black t-shirt, and I basically have a big sticker on the front, right? Because they
Yeah.
knock out the black, right? They weren't. I know it's DTF. I can totally tell it's DTF, and if you print DTF like that, it's going to be like that. So I took the same logo, knocked the black out of it, and gave the coaches a shirt that actually felt good that they could wear. And they're like, oh, we should just have you do all the shirts. I'm like, well, I don't really do shirts, but I know people, right? So
Right.
let's not
Exactly.
use this rando company from wherever that just they made it easy for them though, right? They didn't have to think about it. They were like, hey, do you want shirts? Do you want to be able to sell spirit wear for the parents? And then away you go. So sorry, I got stuck on volleyball. Dance, there's esports teams. Here's like right now, maybe it's probably actually a little bit too late right now, but we start thinking about this for next year. Seniors, right? So the seniors at my son's school were out 2 days before the rest of the school. Their school is done while the underclassmen take their finals. And when I dropped my son off at school, all the seniors were out front, even though they weren't there that day. They were out front doing what they called the senior walk, which actually they were actually having a water fight, but they were all wearing the same shirt. All the seniors are wearing the same shirt. So somebody had to do that, right? So I think just finding these little groups, right, that have energy, they have pride, and deadlines, right? But not always a huge budget.
Yeah.
DTF just really is a great space to be, and you can just custom design in small batches. So
Well,
what's your take on that?
Yeah, I remember once doing some shirts for the high school marching band,
Yeah.
and then the request was, well, we want 5 of them to say saxophone, and we want 4 of them to say tuba, and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm a screen printer, and there's no such thing as DTG or DTF at the time, and so you have the advantage here because you can do that. You could not only say saxophone, you could put a saxophone on the back. You could put a tuba on the back. All these kind of things. So I don't want to say it's easy to get in the door with something like this, but fairly, because I'm going to do a shirt. I'm going to say Blue Valley High School Marching Band, and on the back I'm going to do a full back saxophone, and then I'm going to reach out to the band boosters or the band director, and here's the shirt, and we're going to do here's the price per student. That way, because nobody wants to figure out, break it all down for you. Every student, it's $15, and we'll do any instrument you want. And now that I have all the instruments, now that I have saxophones and tubas and bassoons and all these things, I'm going to reach out to other schools. And I'm going to send that same shirt to all these other schools, because when you find something that's successful, years ago I did for pep clubs. I don't have no people to do pep clubs anymore, but I did shirts that said Rowdy Section and the name of the school on the back, and I sent those to all these different schools, and all these schools ordered Rowdy Section shirts, from me. So it is so easy to do specific sampling for any of these types of things that go out there and somebody go out and sell to the band before. Well, they're going to have band camp this summer, and they love to have shirts to wear at band camp, because band camp is going to be one time at band camp. No, band camp is something where you want to identify with your school. So all these kids are going to go to these different camps in the summer, and there's going to be 12 different high schools there, and so it's a great opportunity to sell product and repeatability, because all the freshman kids next year are going to say, where can I get one of those shirts? So again, find what you're passionate about, what you're interested in. And hey, if you were in the marching band in high school, you know the ins and outs of this. You know what the kids want, and go out and get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ramona says you could also have a secondary press that has the school name, and the bags can be in the school colors. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Evelyn asked, is there any DTF that's softer than others for a full color large design? It's on a black tee, but nothing in design to knock out. I mean, I'm going to be biased. I love the hand feel of what we get over there at Super Gamut, and you can get that through transferdepot.com. Um, you know, I get it, right? You could half tone it. That's another way to get around it. The problem is once you start getting really thin, your washability starts going away, right?
Right,
There's
right.
this kind of, which is more important type thing. So,
Well, and Aaron, it's just like what I've been saying for the last 40 years. There are lots and lots and lots of screen printers. There aren't very many good screen printers. Well, now there are lots and lots and lots of DTF folks. They're not necessarily all good DTF folks. They, just because you bought a machine doesn't mean that you understand how to get that softer feel or appreciate the fact that the customer wants a softer feel. The scariest thing for me is when you see a bad decoration and the person who did it says doesn't look great. You think, oh, you're in the wrong business, because if you can't see that it's not good quality,
Yeah.
then that's all you're going to produce. So,
Yep.
sorry, I got on a little soapbox there.
No, you're good. You're good. And just so I haven't proven this out yet, Terry, but my gut and kind of my initial kind of playing and testing around with it is I've also, and people might say I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that because, like I said, I haven't proved this out yet. But I personally feel that the 9-color, the expanded gamut transfers are a little bit softer. I think because of the expanded gamut, you can limit the inks way back. And I think that I've found them to be softer personally. So
Yeah, you're not laying down more ink to try to hit that color.
correct. Yep. So that would be something else to look at too. I know, Terry, we said we were going to kind of wrap this up, and I know we need to, but I starred Dan's idea, and maybe this is something that you guys can continue to talk about a little bit next week too.
Okay.
But Dan had a DTF idea, a dot tone Dan. He said additional DTF niche production art services. Be okay with all the art issues that come with DTF and take on any art cleanup jobs, making use of your DTF Co. easy peasy for your customers. Most DTF shops are having major issues with this. Get good at it. Gear your company towards making art services a profit center. So I know, like I said, you guys can talk even more about that next week if you want. You can add something to it here. But I actually had this conversation with somebody that a young lady came up to me and was lamenting the fact of the AI slop and all these Canva files and just how terrible it was. And I said, that sounds like a really good opportunity to me, right? What if you said,
100%.
bring your Canva files, bring your AI sloppy. I wouldn't call it that, but bring your art, and we're going to make it look good. Like you just said, there's some people are just going to print that and go, oh, this looks fine to me, right? Where you're going to like Dan's talking about here, make that part of your service. Yeah, it's going to cost them a little bit more, but we can take your Canva design. We can, and it's your job becomes educating, not necessarily selling, right? So anyhow, I'll let you guys run with that, or if you have any thoughts on that, Terry.
No, I 100% agree, and I love the thought of just like you said, don't complain about the art, to make it an opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, Terry, great stuff. It's really awesome. This stuff gets us excited, and yeah, we made this. It may end up being more than a two-parter.
No,
We had 13 on the list, and we got through 4. So
right. But
maybe
hey,
like
this time
52.
at least I made a note to say where we stopped, because last time we did a two-parter, I'm like, did we do this one? Where did we end up?
Yeah, and then you end up doing it over again. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, good stuff, Terry. All right. So let's talk about what we've got coming up here. So we can kind of we still got to get to the secret sauce here.
Right.
So Eric is going to be join him for the Take Up episode 254, Constructive Stitches Revisited, and talking about underlay, travel, tacking, and more. So you want to revisit the stitching literally behind the design. I learned a little bit about that this weekend. We had anyhow. This is not the easiest design to embroider, And so I learned that some things about that. So I'm going to come tune into this today because we're going to revisit stitches literally behind the designs, from selecting your automated underlay settings to constructing custom supports to global underlay, garment attachment, and everything you need to stabilize and support your top stitching. We'll cover all the stitches we cover up. So that cool, really good stuff here happening. 2:30 Mountain Time, 4:30 Eastern Time, and you can head over to ericcampbell.com and click on the Take Up tab at the top to access that and all of his previous episodes. So, what about you, Terry? What's coming up for Terry Combs' world there?
All right, my complete screen printing business course. I'll be at Atlas Screen Supply back in Chicago on June 6th and 7th. There's still some room in that class if you want to sign up. I'll be back there again August 22nd and 23rd, and then November 7th and 8th. Watch for all of my upcoming events at terrycombs.com.
For me, Terry, my next Business Builder Accelerator starts on June 8th, and you can get more details over at osg.link/builder. You can also, right on that page, that same page there where you get the information, you'll see a blue button that says free clarity call, and you can sign up for that at no charge. So if maybe you're in a spot where you're feeling a little bit stuck, maybe you're scattered, maybe you can't figure out who your ideal customer is, maybe you're second guessing everything, that free clarity call is for you. These are things I'd love to get an opportunity to do with people, and I want to leave them with takeaways that they can start implementing right away. So the people that went through the accelerator program, they're telling me things like, I finally feel clear, I'm more confident in my pricing. So maybe that's the next step for you, but the clarity call has nothing to do with that. It's just an opportunity for us to understand what your strengths, values, and passions are and how you can implement that more into your business so you love what you get to do. Real clarity and actually enjoying your business again. So again, go to osg.link/builder and you can grab your time on there today. So with that being said, Terry, we need to get to the secret sauce here. You ready to dive in?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Dad joke before. All right, I'm Terry Combs, and for today's secret sauce, we're diving into pre-treating, the real game changer in DTG printing. With DTG making a strong comeback back this past year, now's the time to revisit pre-treating techniques and products. Start with the garment. You can buy shirts pre-treated from distributors, which is a good option for beginners because it removes one variable. But beware, not every style or color from every distributor performs the same. Always test samples before committing to a job. If you're pre-treating in-house, choose the right shirts. Ring spun, 100% cotton with a tight weave and a flat surface. I once had someone complain their prints cost $7 in ink. Turned out they were using a cheap, low-quality shirt that couldn't hold the ink, so they kept adding double underbases and extra passes. So spend a little more on quality ring spun shirts up front. So that $7 print should have been closer to $2. Drying pre-treat properly is key. Use a heat press at medium pressure, 330 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 seconds, then release. If you still see steam, press once more. Most shirts need only 1 or 2 passes. Just press until no steam remains. How to apply pre-treat? You have options. A Wagner powder sprayer gives coverage but can be messy. Many people pre-treat inside a cardboard box to contain overspray. A handheld mist sprayer is a cheap but slow option that can yield inconsistent coverage. For consistent clean production, use an automatic pre-treat machine. One standout here is the Viper Max from iGroup Technologies in Ohio. It has a step test feature that applies 6 zones of increasing pre-treat on a single test shirt. Instead of printing multiple shirts to find the right amount, you run the step test. Cure the shirt, print a white box across the test area, and read the results. It's an easy way to dial the correct pre-treat amount for each garment. Let's wrap up with this question. Do you pre-treat white shirts? Yes, if you want a more crisp image, more true colors, and better washability. Use pre-treat made for light shirts if you want a better product for the customer. That's my secret sauce for today.
How about I turn my volume back up? There'll be plenty of editing on the backside of this one today, guys.
Just the end of the show.
Just in the show. All right. Well, Terry, great stuff on pre-treatment there. Thank you so much for doing that for us and bringing us that wonderful secret sauce. We have come to the close of another show. Want to thank you for a really awesome conversation, and also all of our regulators for jumping in and providing their takes on things as well.
All right, you as well. And thanks to our show producer, Eric Campbell, for all he does to keep us on the air. And Eric will be joining me next week on the show.
Yeah, we're going to be kind of completing this. Well, we'll see. If it's complete, might be a loose term. But yeah, hopefully Eric has got some time that he can pop in for me, because I will be right in the middle of a class. Actually, that class that I mentioned, the myth of everyone's your customer, will be starting basically at the same time that our show starts next week. So I will not be on, but Eric is a wonderful, if not better, stand-in than me, and excited to watch that after I'm done with my class that day. So going to be a good conversation next week. You guys make sure that you're there.
All right. Until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And that was the Two Regular Guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Two Regular Guys. We're here because of listeners like you, and we're so grateful to have you on this journey with us. For more valuable insight, be sure to visit our website, 2regularguys.com, and join the conversation on our Facebook page. And hey, if you or someone you know has expertise, a unique perspective, or a story worth sharing, we'd love to have them as a guest on the show. Just reach out. Remember, success in this industry isn't just about the equipment you own or the techniques you've mastered. It's about the mindset you bring and the connections you build. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't be afraid to think differently. Keep pressing on, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Two Regular Guys.